So welcome on board, guys. Okay. Testing. Okay, so we are going for the we are going to start first module of course that name is solve physics. It would be the very interesting. We'll learn lots of concepts in this and lots of things we're gonna learn with this module. So it's great to start this topic. Solve physics. Let let's begin. Okay, first thing First thing we need to know about this soil physics is that definition itself. Uh, before in before just in previous lecture we did study about the who is father of soil physics. That guy is Daniel Pillai. We did study also about that why we called him father of soil physics. There was the reason to call him as a father. Uh, some was their region theory, would price movement of soil water in the soil, sorry, movement of water in the soil, movement of water in the soil. We did study all about these things before in the previous lecture. So if you did not watch that lecture, so you may go through with that. There would be the amazing. There would be the 3 to 4 questions, 2 to 3 questions generally come from that particular lecture, who is a father of whom. So generally, I would mostly recommend I'll recommend you guys so to go through with that lecture. That would be the amazing for you. Right. So father of soil physics is Daniel Pillai. We already know that. What is the definition of soil physics? Soil physics is the branch of soil science. Branch of soil science. We'll break down this soil physics definition. Soil physics is the branch of soil science that deals with the physical properties. They deal with the physical properties of soil. Physical properties of soil. Soil uh, physical properties of soil and process of the soil and the process of soil including how solids, liquids, and gases within soil interact and deal with water and deal with how solids, liquids, and gases interact with each other in the soil. Gases interact with each other in the soil, and how it affects the soil properties, how it create the impact in the soil. So how solids, liquids, and gases within the soil interact and move and affect the behavior of soil under the natural and managed condition. In natural or managed condition, we study in the both environment in natural or managed condition. So this is the definition of soil science. So is soil physics. This is my weight again. Soil physics is a branch of soil science that deals with the physical properties and the processes including how soil, liquid, solid, and gases interact with each other, and create impact on the soil environment. So there is the soil physics in the natural or managed condition. I think it's clear to you. Let's move to the next one. This is the first topics. This is the first lecture we are going through with the enforced module is that the soil tax is important studies without it, soil is not. Soil tax is the first lecture. It would be interesting, I think. Let's go deep dive this lecture. What is the soil texture? Or if we're going to study the soil texture, we should learn about the what is the soil separates? What is the soil separates? What is the soil matrix? What is the minor? And what is the primary soil particle? These all four are the same. All four have the same meaning. I already wrote here. Gangadhar is Saktiman, Saktiman is Gangadhar. That's meaning. These all four have the same meaning in itself. Okay. What is first one is a soil separate. Second one is a soil matrix. Third one is a fine art. And fourth one is a primary soil particles. All four are the same thing. All right. What is meaning by that? What are the soil separates? क्या है soil separates? So let's study what is the soil separate. Soil separate are the mineral particle of the soil that are classified on the basis of their size, irrespective of their shape or chemical composition. Soil separates are mineral particles which are classified classified on the basis of their size, on the basis of their size, irrespective respective their shape and their properties. Whatever it is, soil texture, soil separate does not include shape कैसा है उनका या फिर ये properties क्या है. Not gonna focus on that. What is the chemical composition? They are beyond these things. So this is the definition of soil separates. Soil separate are the particles of the minerals which are classified on the basis of the size, irrespective their chemical composition or their shape. Right? So what is the size of soil separates is considered, like we do study, whom we call the soil separates. If the particle size is equal to 2 mm or less than 2 mm, that come under soil separates. What I said, particle that have size of 2 mm or less than 2 mm. First 2 mm or less than 2 mm is considered for soil separates. Right? There are 3 soil particles measured. If you pick any of soil in the world, the soil would be made up of these 3 particles. What they are? They are these these 3 particles are sand, silt, and clay. These are the 3 particles by which all the soil are made up of. So these are the magic. Any of the soil on the Earth planet is made up of these 3 particles. Their proportion may be the different, but the soil is made up of by these 3 particles. Simple as that. Let's jump to the next slide. What is the soil texture? Topic is about the soil texture, so let's do a bit of discourse on that. What is the soil texture? Soil texture defined as the relative proportion of different soil saplings, sand, silt, and clay in a given soil. Soil texture is a relative proportion. Relative proportion of what? Relative proportion of sand, silt, and clay Simple. It's a very simple. Soil separate is all about the proportion. Proportion. What is this proportion? Is the proportion of sand, silt, and clay. Is that simply referred as soil texture. We'll discuss again. What is soil texture? Soil texture is the proportion of relative proportion of what? Sand, silt, and clay is known as soil texture. In what proportion it is present in the soil? There is a soil texture. Simple as that. All right. I think it's clear to you guys. Should be clear to you after this. Sand. Let me just clear to you. Sand is the biggest particle in between the three. Silt is the middle one, and the clay is the smallest particle. Is that clear to you in mind? Just remember, sand is the biggest one, and silt is the medium one in the size, and the clay one is the smallest. All right. Sand plus silt collectively known as skeleton of soil. Skeleton of soil. Sand plus silt. I'm repeating the same thing again because it may you see in the examination frequently. You see the frequently asked questions in the examination. So definition itself. So it's important to discuss them to repeat again to these things. So we may be there, memorize these things easily. So sand plus silt, soil particles together collectively we know them as a skeleton of soil. And clay alone is known as flesh of soil. Flesh of soil is what? Flesh is considered clay, and skeleton is considered sand and silt. Sand plus silt is considered as a skeleton of soil. It's a pretty simple. Are you guys finding the note interesting or not? Like I took these kind of things to make interesting these pages and all. Otherwise, I can refer the whole PPT as well, which cover the whole page. It's giving me, it's a blank page also, so where I can write as well at the same time. So this is interesting, and it look it appeal the it's a feel like appealing to people. They do get interested in these kind of things. And they want what we call they want vibes in everything. So the gen who are studying, they want to find these things are interesting. So that's why I choose these spaces and all. All right. What is a soil texture? We did already study about, but the important thing about the soil texture is that soil texture is the permanent property of soil. Soil texture is the permanent property of soil. It cannot be changed further. It can't be changed. You cannot change the soil texture. What's wrong with it? So it is a tool. It's a you can't do nothing with this. So it's a permanent property of soil. You can't change it. It's a permanent property. This thing is very important to remember. It's been asking frequently in the examination. In 2023, 24, 20, world will be exist till when this question will become in the examination. All right, so we do have to focus. It's a all important question. It's a permanent property. Soil texture is the permanent property of soil. Can't change. Okay. All right. So we called soil separate are three separates. There are three soil separates. Sand, silt, and clay. So how we can classify it like there should be the limit, like there should be the size limit. Above this we can call them to sand. After falling these threads, they are come under the silt. So there should be then criteria to divide them according to their size. So there are the ranges of the sizes according to different by different institutions. So we do have to study right now. So first is by ISS. They give their own size. What is ISS? Already we told so many times. It's a Indian Society of Soil Science. That is the big body in India itself to work on the soil science. So what ISS said? ISS said about the soil sector, soil separates. It's generally divided into three parts. What said? What it said about the soil separate ranges, size ranges. Sorry. So ISS said about the size ranges of soil separate. There are three ranges. There are three ranges. Three ranges of size of soil particles. What they are? They are simply first one is sand, second one is silt, the third one is clay. Sand itself divided into two parts. Coarse sand, it's a bigger in the size, and there is a fine sand. It is smaller than in compared to coarse sand. So let's go with the size, how we can remember these things. So first we'll write sand. Before going to start this, always we learn first thing about the classification and any of classification regarding to the soil separates. We learn clay size first. Always remember clay size is same all in all the classification is that less than 0.02 mm. It is a frequently asked question in the every examination. I even appeared in the venue of, I found these questions so many times in the examination. You'll see, when you're sitting for any of agriculture examination, mostly in the showing, you'll find this question in every examination. It is very frequently asked question. So I would recommend you guys just remember it. What is the clay size? Always remember it is less than 0.02. How we can remember it? Just write 2, we write 2, just put the 20 before. Simple as that. Yeah, you can simply say, just put the point, write the 2 zeros, and write the 2. And symbol would be the less than. Right? Are you getting this? Clay size is what? Clay size is less than 0.02 mm. It's simple. It's a pretty simple. First thing we learned about that, we know the clay size. So we'll put, what is the clay size? Clay size is less than 0.02 mm. All right. Then we'll move forward toward the sand. What is the size of sand? Sand is classified. I already told you. Sand is classified into two parts. First one is a coarse sand. That is a coarse sand. That is the beginning size. We'll start with the 2 mm. What is the size? Start for the coarse sand from the 2 mm. Any of sand start with the 2 mm. There are the many classification regarding the soil separate. So coarse sand start with the 2 mm. we'll divide it with the 10. What we do? We divide 2 by 10. We'll divide 2 by 10. That symbol goes to 0.2 mm. So the next thing would be for when we divide 2 by 10, it will goes to like this 0.02 mm. Sorry, 0.2 mm. What is the size range of? Let me write it clear to here. So you may get the right cosine size is 2 mm2. Every same size will start from the 2 mm. Every not every like we'll figure it out later on. Say cosine side will be start from 2 mm. Then we'll divide it by 10. Then it goes to 0.2 mm. What about the fine side? Fine one. We'll pick their smaller size for the next part first. So there is 0.0 mm will be the first edge order. Then we'll again divide this 10. So it, sorry, I wrote was wrong. So give my cousins of mind simple is there. Maybe somewhere else. Oh, fucking again something. Okay, all right. Let's do these things not there. It should be clear like not do the mess there. Let's do the calculation part here. Okay. We did study about where the sand start from 2 mm. Then we divide it by 10. It goes to like this 0.2 mm. When we divide, this is the range for sand. What about the fine sand? Again, we'll pick the 0.2 and again we divide it by this is the there for the fine sand. First, do we work for the first angle, right? Correct. We'll divide 0.2 mm by 10, then it goes to 0.202 mm. It's pretty simple. Like you have to divide every number with the 10. Then next thing you'll get out by the division. So it would be the size for what? The size for the fine soil, right? What is the size of fine soil? Fine soil. Fine sand. Sorry, I'm continuously saying fine soil. Okay. So fine sand goes to the, we'll pick the smaller part first. There is 0.2 mm first. Then we divide it again with the 10. Then goes to 0.02 mm. So there is the fine sand range. Okay. When you divide this 2 mm by the 0.2 mm, 0.2 mm, you'll get the 10, your answer. Because we already know that we get how to get this thing. All right. So let me finish all things first. We did a study about the sand. Be clear, sand here. Sand is what? Cos sand is about cos. It's about 2 mm to 0.2 mm. And fine sand is 0.2 mm to 0.02 mm. Is that right? This is the size was send. Send itself divided into two part data divided into. All right. Goes. Let's go for the send. Uh, we already know the post send. We know find send. Then we know the claim. We did start it first. 102 and I should learn these things like how to write this. Otherwise, it would be difficult to for you to understand this thing. So let me try it. I'm not, very expert. I'm doing the first time this thing. So with the time, I'll be the perfect. It's perfectly fine for the time in the initial phase. So let's go. Cosine 2 to 0.2 mm. Then find sine is 0.2 to 0.02 mm. Then got to claim firstly we register about this 0.02 mm. And then comes to the sale. The pros, the simple, what the concept for? Pick the smallest range of previous one, there is 0.02 mm, and pick the next one that's here stands. It's a 0.02 mm. This is the distance, all right? So we get the thing, just divide all the things by 10, simple as that, for the getting the next times. All right, let's study about the PPT. Different size limits of soil separate by the ISS. ISS, we know about these limits. I think it's given by the ASRB. It's a scientist who will the plasticity limit aspect. I will study about this. All right. All right. So, what is the first range? First range is percent. What is the size range of percent? Yeah, find sign. ISS divides sand in the two parts. Simple as that. Remember, there are two types of sand in ISS classification. Percent that simply refers to the 0.2 mm and 0.2 to 0.02 mm. Then silt refers to the 0.0 to 0.02 mm. And clay, always remember, this is the very important. This is the frequently asked question in the examination. Mark with the 5 star and write. Till when the world exists, this question will be coming to the examination for that. All right, next, I think it's clear to you guys. So you may go for the next one. I already told you when I'll go for the modules. What? This is rubbish. This is the the point of writing. Already told you guys when we'll go for the modules, I'll use English bit of higher side. Just the reason is I already told you in previous classes. I'm I'm very comfortable with the Hindi as well. I'll try after this, like maybe there are courses in Hindi language as well. But the thing is that I don't want to make you comfortable with like Hindi. The simple, it's a very simple reason. When we go for to compete with the world, we'll fall down. I'll come from the schools where the teacher was, their English teacher was not able to talk in English. So there was a very, I come from the very, there was a piece if I calculate the school classes like from nursery 12, it would not be more than the 15,000. So you 15 to 20,000. So you may remember, guys, like you may think about it, how cheaper the school has been come from. So I can speak, so why not? We just need a pay attention to start. And I when you go for the compete with the world will fall down. Simply, you would not be able to compete with those guys like come from the very famous colleges like IRI, PAU, and Tamil Nadu University will get fall down simply. The reason is that you don't know how to speak English, how to understand English. So I don't want to make for you to face off. So we are taking these challenges right now, so we can be comfortable in English. Otherwise, I'm more good at Hindi in comparison to English. So I love Hindi more. But the reason is simple. I don't want to make you fall down for the future. If you are not getting comfortable with the language, with the lecture, just because of the language, you should. Otherwise, you can easily find the Hindi lecture regarding with the soil science. But I can do the same thing for getting views and subscribers from there. My intention is not getting the more subscribers, more views and all. My intention is that I already told you I wanted you guys to falling in love with the soil science with the right intention to make you in a for the right purpose. If you will go for the PhD, if you go for the masters, if you go for the bit of a good college, you'll face lots of challenges. So after UL itself, like when professor will teach you, it would be gone on your mind. Like तुम्हारे तोते उड़ जाएंगे भाई. Hmm. So I don't want those things. They come on you. So it's the right time to start. So just try to get fit into these lectures. With the time, that's my guarantee. If you listen every day, these lectures, like every day you go pick them one by one, you'll be perfectly fine. You'll learn English. That's my guarantee to you. That is the only way you can learn. That is the only way to learn. I did the same thing. I'm becoming the same thing to the people to learn English. There is a silver. No offense to everyone. It's just trust the process. It will not come by one day, just in one day, but it will come one day for sure. All right, let not waste lots of time on these things. This is not our topic, but this is something important that should be discussed in classes. So perfectly fine. We'll spend time on that. Right? Okay. So the next classification of soil texture is come from the by USDA. What is USDA? It's a department, United States Department of Agriculture, United States Department of Agriculture. United States, I think guys were right, perfect. United States Department of Agriculture. Agriculture. SG is their first word. That is the Department of Agriculture is their first word. So what USDA said, USDA classified soil texture into soil texture into three parts. Same silted clay, but there is something is a bit different from ISS. What is the part? That is sand is classified into five parts. Sand is classified into five parts in USDA classification, and the range of silt also different. So why is this? These things learn these things. So let's get one by one. In USDA classification, sand is classified into five parts. USDA, five parts of sand is what is first one is the coarse sand. Sorry, First one is a very percent. So, talking about so, again and again. Oh, okay, fine, perfectly fine. All right. USD classified, USA, USDA classified, USDA, soil toxic classification, soil septic classification, classified sand into 5 parts. What in 5 parts? In 5 types, what these 5 types is? First one is very coarse sand, very coarse sand, very coarse sand. Then second is coarse sand. Then third is medium sand. And fourth is the fine sand. And fifth one is very fine sand. I think five all five are clear to you guys. Then what next one? Silt for the sixth one. What is silt? What is clay? I earlier told you guys, clay is fixed in every classification. So first of all, whenever we go for the classification, to remember all the things we'll write in the examination first. What is the clay size? Clay is less than 0.02. The trick was write the 2 zeros and write the 2 zeros and write 2 after this and pick the point here. Simple as that. Before 2 0, there is a point, simple. Write 2 and write 2 0 before. Simple as that. Like as into the size concept what before. There are the 5 types of sand. Sand start with what? Sand start with the 2 mm. There was the concept. We in ISIS classification, we were dividing the value by 10, but here is another concept. We'll just make half of it. Simple as that. We'll make half of that particular static range. So when we'll do half of this, we'll get 1. So what concept said? The lower limit will come the first. Then we'll make again half of it. Is that the 0.5? Again, what the concept code? It will come first. Again, lower limit come again for the first in order for the next one. Then we'll do half of it. They will get 0.25. Right? I think you get the concept of doing half. All right? Let's do it so very clearly. All right. First, we'll write for the sand. Very coarse sand. Very coarse sand. The size is for the very coarse sand. Start with 2 mm. Sand start with the 2 mm. Simple as that. We'll do half of it. That would be the 1 mm. Very coarse sand has this size range, 2 mm to 1 mm. Then next comes the coarse sand. Coarse sand. What would be the first range order for this? This would be the 1 mm, the lower limit of previous one, 1 mm. What would be the second one? We'll just do half of it. What would be the half of what? It would be 0.5 mm. Simple as that. I think you guys getting these things. It is a very simple way. I don't know whether you are getting it perfectly or not. But in comment, you can write, like if you are not getting understand these things, we can simply pick one or two lecture more on these things. Like I can make the tricks about these also. Like I recall by their concept, but I can do more simpler for you. I can create the tricks If you guys have a trick, you can write in the comment. All right. There is a percent range I already wrote here. We picked this range from the previous one, and we did a split for the second one. The third range, the third one, third type of the sand, yeah, third part of sand is called medium sand. Medium sand. What medium sand is stand for? The concept code will pick the lower range from the previous one, the is 0.5 mm, and then we'll do the half of it. What is half of it? It's a single 0.25 mm. Simple as that. Then what is the next type? There is the fine sand. Fine sand. Then what would be the for this one? This would be the lower limit for the first. Then what we'll do? We'll do the half of it. But there is the conflict. There is the something. It's an exception. We do generally half of it, but there is a they consider it just for 0.10. They do not go for the fixed half of it, just they do the approximation of it. There is 0.10 mm. Just you need to remember this thing here in fine sign. What they do? They did not perfectly did half of that exact amount. They did the approximation. Sorry for that. That fumble. Oh my God. Okay, David. Fumble. I'll be. I'm doing improving. I do my code again. It's all about the guy's tongue formation, like with the time. I was very perfect in English speaking any nation time. Usually I used to speak very fluent English, very in a very right manner. But it's been 3 to 4 years not speaking, so it's made me like this, like I'm speaking very slow and getting fumble in between to speaking. So days, when things are not getting practice in daily routine, they fade away with the time. So the skills would be so that's why it's important to repeat things with the time. So practice things again and again so it can be perfect. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with it when like you have not been practicing something for a long time and suddenly you think, wow, like let's do try it again. So you'll be to find lots of you know stuck in these things. So please do not make the things for the later on. Just do practice now. So this they are making you upskill and ahead in between to lots of people. So it's spending time on that. It's a very fair thing. Perfectly fine. All right. Okay. We were on the fine side. The first range order we took from the previous one, there was a 0.25 mm, and then we do the approximation, half approximation of it, there is 0.10. This thing is all about the remember. The last type of sand is very fine sand. So very fine sand. What is the range for it? We'll pick simple one, the previous one, 0.10 mm. Then we'll do the half of it. It would be 0.05. Simple as that. We remember all five. So we'll go through with the PPT as well at the same time. So what is there? So cosine goes for the 2m, start from 2m, goes to the half of it, 1m. That range is for, which is for cosine. Then the cos, very cosine, sorry. The cosine go with that 1 to 0.5 mm that we already studied in there. And if you guys get these things, please pause the lecture and repeat again till when you will not get these things. It's a very simple, it's a very basics of soil science. I think you should practice on that. You'll be get within the 15-minute or 40 minute. Just repeat it again and again. All right. We know about before we're gonna do go for the PPT. We already know what is the size of clay. 0.02 mm. That the first thing we learn in this in the classification. All right. So 0.02 mm is the basic range for the clay. We did the five ranges of sand. We know already about the clay. What is left? What we left with? There is the silt. What goes for silt? So let's discuss about the silt. We'll pick the silt. Silt is the sixth part. Silt is the sixth one. Before it, what it is? Very fine sand. So what concept for? Pick the lower value of previous one. There is 0.05 and do half of it. So there would be the again there is approximation they did. They do not they didn't exact half of it. They don't do the hard. There is a there are the two point they consider should be remain for the remember is that this one or this one. There is the approximation. There is a not an exact half of the sorry starting weight, right? What would be the half of it? There is a different amount, but we get this one. So for there, you can remember this simply. We do not have to make lots of effort on that because we already know that the clay size that will come from the last one in the size range order. So we'll put it on the board for the lowest sizing and we'll pick it from the previous one. So this is the size sensibility you can consider, but there is the trick, there is also a trick where so you just keep remember in mind these settings. So where we do have a smart curve. All right. I think it's clear to you guys. If you guys not getting these things very easily, if you guys not getting these things very easily, you can simply write in comment box so we can prepare the trick as well for that. Otherwise, the best thing it goes with the concept. Simple can tricks can simplify these things, but there is also hard work. What is the hard work? We'll remember the trick as well. We'll remember the value as well. So I simply don't go with the tricks, but tricks are very amazing, no doubt. We'll go with the tricks as well. So I think it's clear to let's move forward for the next one. Otherwise, lecture we go for the 4 to 5 lecture only on a soil texture. I don't want to do that. All right. So what is the next thing? The next thing is discuss about is that soil aggregates. What is soil aggregates? Why is that? What is this thing? Soil aggregates. We face lots of these things I have, but right now, when who's when let's go through with the PPT first because there is a standard uh, definitions. Otherwise, I can give mine also. Like you guys can create your own, but standard is standard that we do have to follow. Like when two soil particles in a group, then it's called soil aggregates. It is very simple. When two soil particles, then two soil separates. Simple as that. Two soil separates, two soil separates, not two. It can be the three as well. there are the three only. Soil separates are three, but two to three, more than one. Simple. When two soil separates are in a group, then it's called the soil aggregate. What is what is the rocket sign? Just we need to understand. It should be the more than one. More than one particle. They are in a group. They call simply soil aggregates. Soil aggregates is what? Group of soil particles. It is not a single particle, it's a group. Alright? Group of soil particle is considered. Group of soil particle is considered as a soil aggregate. Simple as that. Alright? Two or more particles in a group that is known as a soil aggregates. Let's guess. Let's move forward. What is the cohesion and adhesion? Okay, it's an interesting concept. I think in soil physics, in physics also in 10th class also we did study these kind of things earlier, but in soil physics we'll go through with this a lot. We'll suffer with this a lot. So these are the two things: cohesion and adhesion. These are the two forces. What is cohesion for and what is adhesion? You'll get a lot of confusion on these when we call it cohesion, when it called the adhesion. So there is a simple trick I follow to escape my confusion part. Very simple. Let go first for the what is the PPT said. Attraction between the similar particles. Attraction between the similar. Similar. All right. Attraction between the similar particles. That is known as the cohesion. And attraction between the different particles. Why I put dissimilar particles? Because it would be help you to work as a trick for you guys. Now you guys are like it look like a very simple for you. Similar or dissimilar, different. But when it will go around, like you go for the 2 and 3 days. After that, you'll be forget these things like what was go for cohesion is what, addition was what. You'll mix up these things. So it will be the multiplication. So trick is that similar and asimilar. Asimilar do not exist in the world, but we are the god of my god. We are the god of on our classes, so we can do whatever we want. So there is a word similar, there is a word for asimilar. Asimilar goes for the addition. Asimilar for asimilar or for addition. When the attraction between the asimilar particles, when we call it addition, A for A, simple as that, A for A. Addition, asimilar particles. Similar particles refers to the cohesion. Simple as that. There is no confusion at all. And what is the similar particles? Soil plus soil. There would be the attraction between them. Then it would be considered as cohesion. Simple, similar. Water between water molecules plus water molecules. Simple as that. Similar particles, water plus water. But in addition cases, why is that? Very simple, pretty simple. Different particle, dissimilar particles. My God. It's very simple. You do not have to learn so very constantly. So what is the simple thing? Between asimilar. Asimilar is a great word. I do What I follow that I'm telling that this word does not exist as a minimum at all. It's just for making this simple, these things to clear the concept. When the attraction between attraction between dissimilar particles. What is these dissimilar particles are? Sand plus water, it can be possible. So that we consider as addition. Let's do understand again. Sorry, cohesion and addition. Addition goes for a similar particle and cohesion goes for the similar particles. Attraction, these work on work, attraction and attraction forces between the particles. Attraction forces between particles. And what kind of particles? Similar. Like soil plus soil, water plus water, similar. And here's the science is same, but particle are dissimilar. Particle are different. Soil plus water. It is very simple. I think it's clear to you guys. The thing is known as the cohesion. I think lecture is going too much larger. We should stop here. We'll cover these things in later on. We'll go for the later on. So we can cover these things. Otherwise, later we lecture will go for the longer period. I don't want to make more heavier for you guys, like continuous watching these things. So when we when we do split these lecture, it automatically becomes interesting for the people. Like they cannot sit for the half an hour, and they can sit for the half an hour, but we don't want to go for the sitting in front of just mobile phone screen for longer for a half hour, 1.5 hours. So they said ridiculous things. I do not also follow, so that's why I do wanna make these in the parts. Correct? So this lecture here will meet tomorrow again with the same topics. That is the remaining. There will be 3 to 4 lecture. I imagine. I can imagine like that would be the 3 to 4 lecture on the soil texture to cover it. And all right. In the end, I would say this course purpose, that same lecture, sorry, the same sentence we'll repeat again. This course purpose is to make you guys falling, make you guys falling in love with soil science. Simple as that. Signing off. Cheers, Mera. Your project, your fan, everything. Okay, bye bye, guys. Thank you.